First thing I want to do is thank God for allowing you to tune in and listen. I'm your host, Vincent Spriggs II, and this is the second episode of the Game Changers Movement podcast. Game Changers. When we don't like the game, we change it. Let me tell you something for all of my listeners. I want to tell you what you can expect. What's the benefit of listening to this particular podcast right now? Listen, if you're an adult listener, this is going to encourage you. This is going to inspire you, motivate you, and ultimately challenge you to get off the sidelines, to get off the bench, and start engaging the youth that's in your city, in your community, within your sphere of influence. A lot of times we talk about the problems that's going on with the youth in the city and every city, but I believe that you are the change that you've been waiting for. Now, if you're a youth and you listening to this, listen, I need you guys to stop being followers because God didn't create you to be a follower, right? Stop trying to fit in so that you can stand out and reach your full potential. I want you to maximize your potential. As we continue, listen, I want to move into introducing my special guest. Feel like I got a lot of black girl magic on the show, on the podcast. I'm in good company, for sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce my special guest to my left, but I want to give context and kind of narrate this dynamic, right? So I remember back in the day, because I'm a teacher. I teach over at Manassas High School. Shout out to them. It's in North Memphis,
Woo-hoo.
North. And I remember this young lady coming up to me in the school. She had her phone. I don't even think she's supposed to have her phone, but she was like, "Mrs. Spriggs, let me interview you." I'm like, "You want to interview me?" And she was going around. What she was doing was like blogging. And so I can't remember what she asked me, but when she walked away, it left an impression. And I was like, man, this young girl got a bright future. She going places. And lo and behold, I just been like, she's multi-talented, and I just been kind of discovering different talents and gifts that she has. You know, the more I follow her on her Instagram, I allow her to share that. But like, I looked on one time on Instagram, she was crying, and I believe she was crying for real. Like she was doing some TikTok, but it was believable. Like she's a actor, so y'all need to get at her for acting. She also raps, and yeah, it ain't no sexy red bars, but man, so I respect that. Like she is hard with the bars, but then not only that, she also has a business that she's gonna talk to you guys about, where she does fruit candy, and I've seen it with my own eyes. Y'all know kids don't be liking no fruit, and I seen the kids swarm on her for this fruit candy, and I'm like, man, okay, she on to something. So without further ado, I want to introduce my first guest. She is Dairra Gibbs, aka Mook.
Hey y'all.
Go ahead and say something.
Hey y'all. Mrs. Spriggs said it all.
All right. And I'm gonna go to my right with my next special guest, and I'm gonna say this: her husband is rich, and so is she. All right, that'll go with some of you guys' head, but you'll catch back up on the back end. Again, I work in North Memphis, and one of the things that's kind of unique about North Memphis, aside from any other place in Memphis, is just a simple fact that they ain't got no grocery store. They ain't got no grocery store. Like what type of place, whole section of the city does not have a grocery store? And many people have been fighting to get a grocery store. You got Michael Easton Thomas, our amazing councilwoman, that's been pushing for it, but it just has not come. So like, if you looking for some fresh food, you can't find it. You got a liquor store in every corner. You got corner stores and stuff like that with the greasy fried chicken, but you can't get no fresh fruits and vegetables. And so, man, my special guest to my right, listen, she is an oasis of hope in the middle of the desert. I'm talking about a food desert in the North Memphis. And she got one of the most beautiful gardens sitting right in North Memphis, right? And so I'm just gonna go ahead and introduce her. Her name is Derravia Rich of Black Seed. Go ahead and say something to them.
Hello, hello. How are all of y'all doing? My name is Derravia Rich. I am the CEO of Black Seeds Urban Farms and the founder of our nonprofit Black Seeds.
Man, there you go, there you go. Y'all make sure y'all look that up. Listen, we're gonna jump straight into it. I love to kick off the Game Changers Movement podcast with the quote of the episode. Okay, so the quote of the episode, and when I say this quote, Dairra and Miss Derravia, I'm sorry, Dairra, it's Mook, right?
You can call me Dairra.
Okay, okay. Y'all may hear me go in between the real name and then also the stage name, because she is also an up and coming artist. But the quote, I want to hear from you guys. Y'all tell me what the quote means to you, and then like how does that apply to how you guys started your businesses? Okay, so the quote is, "A comfort zone is a beautiful place, but the only problem is that nothing ever grows there." I'm saying it one more time for the listeners. As I'm saying this and you listening, like think about how it applies to you as well. A comfort zone is a beautiful place. The only problem is that nothing ever grows there. Mook, what you got for him? Talk to him.
Well, to me, the quote just means that it's okay to be comfortable in whatever you're doing, like your job, your hobby, like anything that you're doing. But if you want to grow, you got to step out of that, and you got to be willing to do more than what you're doing to get a better outcome. That's what it means to me. And
okay, so kind of speak to your brand and what it is that you do, and then tie in how you had to leave a comfort zone in order to get to where you are now.
Okay, so a time I had to get out of my comfort zone, well, I was scared to, was when I graduated and I was supposed to start college. So it was during COVID, and I couldn't find a roommate for the college I was going to. So that like kind of gave me like gave me a letdown. Like I didn't want to do it, but I started classes, and I had to start my classes online. And so with that, it was just all like I didn't want that type of experience. It was all new to me, so I just gave up like not even a month. And then after that, after I did that, I just gave up on the whole college experience. And if I would have stayed and stuck to it, I probably would have got more knowledge and stuff than that I'm getting now. I probably would have been knew it. And so, yeah, there was when I was in my comfort zone, and I didn't want to step out, but I eventually stepped out of it. Okay,
and so when you stepped out of, so what I'm hearing is you were in the place. First off, I'll say this, like, I feel like a lot of times youth are 100% pushed only towards college. And sometimes college is not for every particular student.
Right.
And so I feel like you found yourself in college because somebody probably told you need to go to college. So you went to college, and then things wasn't kind of going as planned, and you eventually stepped away from that. And when you stepped away from that, which you felt wasn't for you, what did you step into? What's the brand?
I focused on my music and pushing that, and just to find another way to get my talents out, because I was going for performing arts, like you said, like theater and stuff like that. And I just found another way to get myself out there with my music. Okay.
And so would you say that your music is more connected to your purpose and what you feel you're gifted at?
Yes, my music and like just making people laugh. Like I feel like acting is always been my first love, like what I really want to do. But music helped me push it out there more.
Okay. And then tell me about this brand, this fruit.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I got Mook Munchies, the owner of Mook Munchies.
Okay.
It's my candy fruit business. I do all candy fruit, grapes, strawberries, pineapples, any type of fruit I can dip it. Yeah, I started in 2021, and it just progressed from there. I took a break, and then I started back, and I just been hustling since then.
Okay, and before I move over to Derravia, can you tell people how they can get to your brand? How can they like hear some of your music? How can they even place some orders?
Okay, y'all can go to my Instagram, follow my Instagram at Mook Munchies and XODAIRRA. And everything will be on there.
All right, y'all go check that out. Check that out. Go ahead and spell that. Spell that for our listeners.
MOOKEMUNCHIES. Mook Munchies.
Mook Munchies. Somebody riding right now and they hungry. They like, man, munchies.
If y'all
I got
want
the
the
munchies.
sweets, I can get you right.
Okay, she can get you right. All right, we about to move next to Miss Derravia Rich. What does that quote mean to you? Comfort zone is a beautiful place, but the only problem is that nothing ever grows there. So I do want to hear your brand and what you do. And
Yes. This quote reminds us that while it's tempting to stay in a familiar or comfortable place, growth and progress only happen when you step on the other side of that comfort zone. It's like a cozy garden, that looks nice. But if you aren't planting anything new, then there won't be any new blooms or fresh life. So to truly grow, we need to challenge ourselves, take risks, and explore beyond what feels safe.
take risks. Dive more into that, like, because I think naturally, like, even for our listeners, when they hear the word risk, like, they feel like I'm not supposed to touch risk.
Right.
Like, risk is a bad thing. Why would I take a risk? Like, I need to be comfortable because risk, I can fail with a risk. Like,
Right. Yes, taking risks can be scary, as we all know. But most of the times when you take that risk, exactly what you're looking for is on the other side of that.
So you mean that you got people listening right now and they desire there's a whole lot of different things they can desire. Like, somebody may desire a house or desire to leave the job to start their own business like Mook did, but because they won't take the step or take a risk, they can't get what it is they really want. That's what you're saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying. That staying comfortable will not bring about the change that's needed, so it takes a bold step. I've taken many bold steps in my professional career, and I feel like, in current day, if I didn't push myself, if I didn't step out of that comfort zone, I would have been stagnant. I would have been continuing to do the same thing that I didn't want to do, or the same thing that was keeping me, stagnant in the same place, not progressing, not elevating, just because it felt comfortable.
When you when you stepped out your comfort zone and like tried different things, what are the people around you that were also in the same place? Like, what did they think, or what did they say to you when you were taking those risks?
I guess I'll just kind of hone in on stepping into the agriculture industry. When we first came up with this business idea, people were just like, what? Like, okay, they want to start a little garden, and they saw it as, something small. But our vision was way bigger than a backyard garden, what they could physically see. So stepping into that industry, I heard a lot of no's. I heard a lot of, this does not make sense. You can't do that. Farmers don't make any money. You can grow food, but nobody wants it. All of these different type of negative stereotypes that would make anybody discouraged, you know. And in the beginning, it actually made me, you know, not want to step out of my comfort zone, because after hearing 1,000 no's, I was like, you know, it got to a point in the beginning of my entrepreneurial journey that I was like, maybe they are right. But I continued to push through. I prayed a lot, and I knew in my heart that this was way bigger than me just being comfortable or me just allowing a no to discourage me. So looking back on those days, I know that it was that boldness and that just wanting to step out of the comfort zone and to really delve into something that I knew that was purpose for me was the leading factor for that.
Man, somebody need to hear that, right? I'm telling y'all, like even on this podcast, it's bigger than what you guys see, because you guys are going to impact so many listeners that's tuning in right now that can relate to you guys, right? So you guys are being helpful right now. Y'all don't even know it. Dairra, can you speak to what inspired you to leave your comfort zone to pursue the music, start your own business? Like, I hear people say all the time, the hardest thing to do is simply start. Mm-hmm. But once you start, then it's all downhill from there. But speak to us about the inspiration behind that. Where did it come from?
Okay, with music, I always just liked it, music, all my life. So I don't know. I talk about the candy business. So with the candy business, just seeing my mama work hard and everything, I just wanted to be like my own boss, so my family won't have to work as hard, and I could just let it be like I have it to give to them. And that just inspired me and motivated me to start my own brand and to do something that I like to do. So I had to find it. I had to push past a lot of failed attempts first. Like, I had to really go into how I make the candy and get every ingredient right and stuff like that. So I had to push past a lot to finally get where I'm at now, and that's what pushed me with the candy business, just to simply just be my own boss. With the music, like I said, I always loved music, and I just had to find a way. Back to the college thing, I had to find a way to get it out there. So I wasn't gonna just sit around and just not do nothing. So I just pushed past, like, I might not went to college, but okay, I'm still finna get up out of here and I'm finna do something. I'm finna do my music. I'm finna do what I'm good at. Yes. I always had that in my mind.
That drive.
Yep.
And so who are some of your biggest, like, supporters that pushed you when you were, like, trying but failing and trying again? Like, who does that? Most people, they fail and they just stop. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They would have tried that candy business and put that candy sauce on the pineapple and be like, man, that's disgusting. I ain't gonna try that no more. But, like, who pushed you? Where did that motivation come from?
Sometimes I had to push myself. Like, sometimes I just had to say, I might not did it right this time, but I'm gonna keep going. My family pushed me. Even though I didn't get it right, they always said, like, Moo, you gonna get it. You gonna get it. And I eventually got it. Like, my family is a big part of why I just keep going. My mama, she always just told us, Moo, you can do it. Like, if it's not for you, it's not for you, but it's gonna happen. So I always just kept that in the back of my head too. But I had to push myself. No matter what went downhill or what went wrong, I always had to be the person to be like, okay, I got it. And then I seen like a lot of different outcomes of it when I would make fruit and I would give them. People would still like it, even if it was like not looking good or whatever, they still like this. So I said, okay, well, I'm going to keep on getting better at it, and I'm going to keep on doing it. So I think I was my big motivator, biggest, yep.
Man, thanks for sharing that. Like, it's important. People need to understand that you have to keep pushing. Even if things don't work out the way that you plan or the way that you foreseen it, it does not mean to stop, to stop pushing. And like you mentioned your family, like it's cool that you mentioned that, because like when I go on your Instagram and I listen to your music videos, like I see Big Sis supporting. She right here supporting you right now. I
Shout
see,
out Diggs.
Yeah. I see your brother. He younger than you though, right? Well, go ahead.
He like a year.
Go ahead, shout him out too.
D-Murder, y'all. Go tap in with it. Yoda NT.
Yep. So I see the family dynamic and how they show up and support. And shout out to your mom too, man, because like she put that in all of you guys, and we're seeing the fruit of that. Okay. We're gonna go over to Miss Derravia. So same question. Like, what inspired you to push, even though, like, I'm sure it was just you and your husband, like you guys came up with the vision, and like it made sense to y'all, but when you guys went and tried to pitch it to other folks, it sounded like Spanish to them. Yeah. So like, what inspired you guys to grit and grind and continue on with trying to bring the vision to fruition?
Well, what pushed us first and foremost was the urgent need in our community for fresh, accessible food. As you know, many communities in Memphis are underserved, and fresh food access is not readily available as it should be. You can go to some parts of town, you got a Whole Foods, you got a Sprouts, you got a Trader Joe's, you got all of these grocery stores on one block.
All right.
But you go into the neighborhood that I'm from, we don't have a grocery store in sight. I'm from the Magnolia Castalia area. And I watched large markets and major food distributors play with my neighborhood. Y'all know we went through that long struggle of they took away Kroger's, then they, I don't know, what did they put, Cash Saver, then they took that away, and then the building went through a long period where it was just closed, and now what, we got Super Low over there. This has been done in so many disinvested communities. And I watched it in my own community. Backstory, my grandfather always grew food my whole life. My family was used to having fresh food coming right out of the backyard because my grandfather always grew it. He grew food out of necessity because it's a lot of us, and my grandparents did not have a lot of money when they moved to Memphis, so he grew food because he had to, because he needed to feed his family. So in our household, we always had fresh food available because that was a skill. That's what our family knew how to do. And I watched a lot of people, a lot of families around us not have that skill and rely on grocery stores, as many of us have to do. And when they started to take that grocery store out of our neighborhood, I watched how many people were affected by that. I watched children, I watched families, I watched elderly people, I watched fragile, disabled people just not have the food. COVID, the pandemic, was a real eye-opener for a lot of us to see if they don't put that food on those shelves, we just won't have it. During the pandemic, those shelves were empty. I'm talking about big empty. And, it was an eye-opener for a lot of us to see if those trucks don't come across the bridge and unload the food into those grocery stores, we won't have it. So during that time, it was that's when we actually started. My husband started growing food in our backyard and my grandfather's backyard. And we started growing food just as his hobby, My family had a long history of doing it anyways, and so we had the space, and he just kind of just took on that opportunity. And before you knew it, everybody was calling us, not just my family, because my family is really big on cooking food and communing over a dinner table together. You know, we cook regularly, and people know that. And a lot of the food that we would cook would come from food we grew. And so folks knew we was growing food for the family. But it, you know, when that word spiraled out, we realized how much of a need, how much of an urgent need it was for people to get fresh food that was in close proximity. So that inspired us to grow more food because more people needed it, not just my family and my own community.
How can you not support a Black Seed, a Derravia Rich, Bobby Rich, when their very reason for starting was the need? Like, what I'm hearing is you saw the problem, and the problem drove you to come up with a solution.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's purpose work, is what I'm hearing.
It is for sure purpose work. It is God work. You know, I think that people ask me all the time, how did y'all start doing this? And, you know, I give them a, you know, brief background about my family was doing it 50-some years ago because they were poor and had to. But it is for sure purpose work. And I believe that, you know, God put us into this industry for not just what has been owed to my family, and that's a whole nother story, but just even more so of shining light on Black farmers and getting people to understand that we cannot rely on these heavily processed foods.
What's the processed foods doing to our communities?
Oh, it is important that we instill sustainable practices into our communities. That's growing our own food, buying food locally. Y'all, it's a lot of good farmers in the Mid-South and in rural areas, not just Black Seeds. You know, shout out to Halls of Ivy, shout out to Everbloom Pharmacy.
For sure.
Shout out to Knowledge Quest. Shout out to Deborah Lockhart with Lockhart's Produce. It is a lot of us, boots on the ground. Shout out to Matthew and Produce Tribe. It's a lot of us that got real boots on the ground that are growing the foods that you and your families need. It is no secret that the produce that you buy in your local grocery store is not nutritious.
What you mean it's not nutritious? Hold on now. You gonna mess some of our listeners up because they think they really doing something when they go to Whole Food and Kroger and they hey man, I'm doing something because I only shop in the produce aisle. But you saying that folks is getting produce and all of the produce that they get is not 100% nutritious for them?
Vincent Spriggs, our food has been compromised in so many ways.
Oh Lord.
First of all, Bobby and I got a running joke, and people know I say this all the time on platforms like this because I need you to understand and hear it clear. But the food that you buy out of the grocery store, it has traveled, it has been commuted from miles and miles away that it literally needs a traveling suitcase because it has come that far. You have all of these different toxins and chemicals that have been sprayed on your foods for it to look pretty. You know, they want your tomato to look shiny when you get it. They want that apple to look bright and vibrant when you get it.
I thought an apple was supposed to be shiny.
Oh, it's supposed to be shiny.
It's supposed to be shiny.
But in the most natural way.
Okay.
And so when you're adding all these different chemicals on there, listen, you shouldn't buy a tomato that's just as shiny as this shellac gel on my nails.
Not the apple, not the fruit more shiny than your shellac. Okay.
Right. These produce bulks, they go through so much before it gets to the plate on your table that the quality is gone. The nutritional quality is gone. It's not there. And so we want you to understand that buying locally is the best thing that you can do for your health. Be health conscious about those things and shop locally because that's the freshest that you will get your food. I tell people when they come to Black Seeds and we pick it and bag it, that is the freshest produce that you will find, and I guarantee that.
Man, that's a hack. So what I hear you saying is that the fruit that people buy from the grocery store, it travels. You don't know where it's coming from.
It
And
travels.
so
You don't know where it's coming from. You don't know where it's been, and you don't even know who grew it.
Wow. So it could have been grown in a lab?
It could have been grown anywhere. Have you seen all these crazy videos on TikTok and social media? They doing some crazy stuff like trying to grow foods, right?
Yeah.
And so you don't know where Kroger get their foods. Who are the Kroger vendors?
Oh.
Come on, Mookie.
No, nobody knows.
Nobody knows, right? You don't know where Kroger getting their food from. You don't even know where Trader Joe's is getting their food from.
Man, that's a good point. I don't know.
You don't know because you don't know your farmer. And so a lot of sessions and classes that Bobby and I host through Black Seeds Urban Farms, we encourage people to get to know your farmer. People trust us, they know us, and they know when they come to Black Seeds and they get blackberries from us that we had sprayed forever chemicals on your food. Have you heard about that?
No.
Huge thing that's going around. Please tap in, y'all. There are chemicals. I think it's a weird name. Listen, this is when I need Bobby Rich. It's a PDF or some type of acronym.
Okay.
But it stands for, or it reflects forever chemicals. And these are chemicals that pretty much forever stay in your body. It's not just in your foods. It's in your cosmetics. It's in your everyday products. I mean, like lotions. And the FDA and all of these administrations that are over our food, drug, and, product usages, they are approving this stuff. And, so many people are affected with different sicknesses, cancers, illnesses. And, we look up, so many more people are having cancers. And we're like, where is this stuff coming from? It is what our body is consuming, not just through food, but in our everyday products that we use.
Man, that's powerful.
Yeah.
That's powerful. And knowledge is power.
Knowledge
Is power. So, like, when you know more, you can do more. So, as you listening, like, don't just, listen, but you got to do something about this.
We do.
We got to do something about this.
And the first step into doing something about that is, one, teaming up with the collective force. There are a lot of people in Memphis who are doing the work, who are active, who are advocates for pushing the change. And whether it's, through farming, but incorporating these sustainable practices are important. And we got to get our youth to understand that. Making healthier food decisions is important. You are young now, but this body, it's with you as long as you are traveling this earth. So take care of it and be more conscious about what you consume, because your food is your medicine.
So when a couple months back, me and Dairra had talked, and when she was telling me about her fruit candy business, believe it or not, I actually thought of you, Derravia. So I was like, man, I know somebody that I need to connect you to, because you had mentioned wanting to get into farming. And
right.
how old are you?
I'm 22.
Yeah, so she only 22 and she talking about something she want to be a farmer.
Okay.
I'm like, hold on. You want to be a farmer? So yeah, I was like, I got to connect you in with the riches with Black Seed, because that'd be awesome if you was able to grow your own fruit for your business.
That'd be so good. That's always something that I always wanted to do. I used to just say I wanted to be a farmer, just to say I wanted to be a farmer. But now that I got my own business and stuff like that, I actually really want to do it, and I want to learn more about it. Because everything, like you said, everything just to be 100% organic, and it'll be from me, and folks can trust my fruit and my business. And so that's what really inspired me to want to tap in with growing my own fruit and becoming a farmer now that I got my business. But it's always been something I want to do. I used to say I'm going to have a farm when I get older and stuff, and I'm going to have, be somewhere where nobody Il said, I'm going to have a big farm. But it's like, why wait when I can do it now?
Exactly.
Come on now. Y'all hear that, youth?
I
You don't
love
have to
it.
wait until you got gray hair
Right.
like me or no hair at all like me. Like you can get started right where you are because
Right.
knowledge is power and there's plenty of knowledge out there for you to grab. You just got to get off your butt, don't be lazy, and learn, right? So Derravia, what advice do you have for Moot for getting started with farming? And so what type of fruit, what's your specialty? What type of fruits do you incorporate the most?
Grapes.
So grape, I love grape. That's like my favorite fruit. What else?
Grapes, strawberries, and pineapple. Pineapple's the most. I do pineapples.
Okay.
All right, so pineapples, that's hot. That's get it while it's hot. So pineapples number one, grapes, and then you said strawberries?
Strawberries.
And then strawberries. So what advice can you give for Dairra for getting started and incorporating like farming into her business? How would you encourage her to tap in?
Okay, first of all, I want to say I wish that when I was 22 years old that I had any ideas of farming or that I would even be in this industry. So the fact that you are jumping in and starting now is amazing, and I encourage you to be resilient in that and keep pushing forward. What the advice that I would give you is to get in a class, get some type of training. My husband Bobby has classes. He does one-on-one training. He is a master gardener. Anybody that knows Bobby will tell you he has a wealth of knowledge when it comes to anything regarding plants, from basic gardening all the way up to ethnobotany. So connect with an educator or someone who is in this industry who can teach you the basics, because farming, it has its complexities, and so learning about all of the aspects that come with farming is very important. And on the other side of that, the business side, connect with someone who has experience in business, management. Connect with subject matter experts who can help you be advanced in your field. Teach you all of the things that you need to know to get started and all of the things that will help you maintain your business.
Yeah.
So tapping into people who are actually doing it and who have, been not just have the experience, but who have excelled in what they're doing is very important. But back to farming, you mentioned strawberries, grapes, and pineapples. I tell people all the time, know where you are and know what grows in your zone. We are in Memphis, Tennessee. We are zone 8. We were zone 7, but the climate is so hot. We are moving to different zones. We're in zone 8. So find out, about all of those type of things. Find out what season you need to grow those items. And as you know, pineapples, we cannot grow them in Memphis, but there are ways around it. We have many things that we grow in our orchards that you normally can't grow. But we have greenhouses and other things that could help manipulate the climate. So do your research.
Okay.
Find out everything you need to know on the ground level and continue to build from there. But just stay committed and stay dedicated and know that God will make way for whatever you stay committed to.
Thank you.
So
I
the first
appreciate
step, so I'm a real practical guy. Like I need steps. So the first step I heard was Dairra need to get a class, right? And she could tap into, when do Bobby do that class?
One-on-ones, he do, it's just based off scheduling, so just let us know. But there are many trainings outside of what my husband provides on a city level and state level that you can enroll in. Memphis Tilth, shout out to Jay Clark with Memphis Tilth. But Memphis Tilth, they have some educational resources that could help you. But it depends on, if you want just some one-on-one training or if you want to get some type of state accredited training, because I do have resources to that as well.
I want anything.
Okay.
I want to learn everything, a little bit of everything.
And that's the spirit. You got to learn a little bit of everything so you can do a lot of everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, this is this show has been a wealth of knowledge on both sides, and I'm sure our listeners can appreciate that. I want to get to the part that I called it's like vision casting, right? Changing the game.
Okay.
Like, and one thing that we know is that, you know, when God give you the vision, that vision is for you. It ain't for nobody else. And so we can't take it personal when other people can't see what it is that we see. And so I want to give you guys the opportunity to talk that talk. And if you can share what it is that you see coming in your future. You get what I'm saying? So I'm going to start with you, Mook.
Okay. What I see for myself in the future, I see Mook Munchies building like even if it's just a small house building, like I want to have my own company, Mook Munchies, with my fruit and my garden in the backyard and everything. And I just see myself doing more shows, getting bigger as an artist, and selling my fruit on the side at my shows as well.
Okay.
So
Man, that's what you see?
that's what I see.
You believe that?
I believe it. I know it's going to happen.
Hey, if you believe it, I believe it too.
Same here.
Hey, okay. What about you, Ms. Rich?
Okay. I see myself continuing to advance as a serial entrepreneur through Black Seeds Urban Farms. I pray that my efforts lead to policy changes on a state level. We got to change how we distribute food on a state level. I pray that we will be able to create more fresh food resources, whether it's through a grocery store or a market, but being able to provide more people with fresh, nutritious foods. I foresee and pray that we are able to work more closely with the youth by incorporating educational programs in schools, whether it's on the elementary, middle, high school level, but higher education, post-secondary education as well. So just being able to continue to be a sustainable resource to local Memphians, but even more so being able to be a strong contender on the state level to distribute fresh food.
Man, that would absolutely be a game changer, because like the information that you've given on this podcast is challenging, and a lot of people don't know that their food is compromised, that they put in their bodies, and you know, even how it's distributed. Like, that was deep when you talked about like the grocery stores that you go to. You really don't know. You don't know the farmer. Like, they're not gonna tell you where they're getting it from. It could be coming from wherever. So you know, I put that little gem in my back pocket. Like your local food growers and farmers. Like, that's the freshest food that you're gonna be able to have access to.
It's live food.
It's live food. All right. So that's what I want to do. So I want you guys to both just kind of restate your social media so that people can follow, and also just look for what it is that you see. They don't know it yet, right? They don't know it, but I'm giving them the opportunity to catch up, right? Because if you guys believe it, I believe it, I support it, and I want people to be able to tap in, follow, and continue to be inspired, because I believe that they have been inspired today from your stories, from your unique perspective. And so, Dairra, go ahead and tell them again how they can tap into your music, tap into Mook Munchies, and yep.
Okay, y'all can follow me at XODAIRRA on all platforms everywhere. And follow me at Mook Munchies, MOOKEMUNCHIES, on Instagram and Facebook. Y'all can tap in, listen to their music, Yoda ENT, and the project, Intro to Mook World, is out now everywhere.
Intro to Mook World. Okay. All right, Derravia.
Okay. You can find me on Instagram at Black Seeds Urban Farms. That's my business page. My personal page is Cache_Karshay. That's CACHE_KARSHA. But please tap into my social media page for my business, Black Seeds Urban Farms. On our account, we post when we have upcoming events, volunteer opportunities, and collaboration projects. So please tap in with Black Seeds. We need y'all support.
Tap in. And again, I am your host.
Mr. Spriggs.
Yes, ma'am.
I got one more thing I want to say. I want to thank you for my shirt.
Oh, no problem.
The brand. I want to thank you for my shirt.
For sure.
And I got y'all some grapes.
Thank you.
There y'all go.
Want mine too?
Uh-huh.
Thank you. Listen here, I love this.
Hold on one sec. Let me see.
Mrs. Spriggs never got his grapes from the last time.
I ain't get the grapes. I'm about to try it right now. Hold on one sec. Gotta get it. Oh, man.
Oh, these are really good. Y'all know I'm hard on fruit. This is really good.
Hey, you got that sauce right. You got it right. You got it right.
Thank y'all.
Tasty.
Again, I'm your host, Vincent Spriggs II. This is the Game Changers Movement podcast. You can like and follow on YouTube, Game Changers Movement, to get the latest episodes, to also see what the Game Changers Movement is about. Youth organizing, mentoring. We're doing a whole lot of things. And so I'm not only telling you guys to go out and engage the youth and mentor the youth that's in your city, in your community, but I'm doing it as well. And, you can follow on Instagram, Game Changers Movement, Facebook, same thing, Game Changers Movement. It is a movement, and we'll close out with, Game Changers.
Game changers.
When we don't like the game,
we change it.
we change it.
KJ let the beat knock.